Greetings, MelVee family, and welcome to another episode of My Journey with God. This is a journey, this is a podcast where we talk about what God does with our life stories. Our history is His story. Good, bad, ugly, all things work for the good of the Lord. And on this podcast, we just want to explore how some people, friends of ours, colleagues, and maybe people we don't know, have been led on their journey. And as we listen to these stories, we can also see our own journeys with the Lord. And today, the Lord has allowed us to fly all the way to the lovely, beautiful country called Zambia. And God has brought us a jewel of a young lady. She's a singer. I've seen her on the stage, the global stage. I've seen her sharing her life testimony and her story in certain forums. But today she came because she said, God has been so good, has been leading me even as a young person. I know you might think she's young, but not that young. We will not tell her age, but she's single. That's what she told me. And Mercy, greetings and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I've sold you out there.
Yeah, you did.
Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really privileged to have you here today because we've talked about this for a long time.
Yeah, and I've been looking forward to it.
Yes.
It's an opportunity to testify of what God has done for me. So
yes,
I've been looking forward to it.
In fact, your inspiration came from watching one of the podcasts we featured here.
Yes, Pastor Maligudu's story.
Maligudu's story, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I remember you sending me a message and saying, that was a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And then we began talking.
Yes.
And you said, I would love to share my story one day.
Yeah.
But when we last met, we thought this story would not be complete until something happens.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But maybe let's go way back and let's hear when you first discovered who you are. Where were you? Who were you with? Who was speaking into your life or against your life?
I was born in Zambia.
Okay.
And I came to South Africa when I was 12 years old. And before coming here, a lot happened in my life. I was with my family. We are a family of 8 with 5 siblings. And my parents were both in ministry at the time when I was quite young. And my mother continued even when we came to South Africa. She was an evangelist in the TLC.
Okay.
Yeah. So growing up, because of the fact that my parents were serving in the church, it made us rooted in Christian values, you know. Growing up in a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to believe, you know, Adventist beliefs. Let me just say, follow Adventist beliefs. Yes. So that shaped me in who I am today. And then also, all of us, not just me, we were talented in music. So when you think about family worship, it was shaped with music and beautiful melodies. And now that, for me, because it was a talent that I discovered at the age of 7, even though I didn't know that was a talent at the time, I just wanted to sing. I had this urge to want to sing. So that's when I started music with my mom and my older sister, and then my other siblings joined us in along the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your house, there will be choral music. There will be just melodies running everywhere.
Yes, we were big on music as a family.
All right.
Yes.
So you discover yourself in South Africa with your family. Your siblings are all here with you.
Yes, they are.
And so you're growing up in a family where there's mission work happening. What are some of the early influences besides music? Because music is you now.
Yes.
You know, there's no way we can now say Messi and not say the musician, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But before the music, what are the early memories that begin to shape you, and you recall this was very pivotal in my early years as a child, even when you were in Zambia or when you were just arriving in South Africa?
Yeah. I would say education. I am passionate about education. And growing up, we were not so privileged with the opportunity to go to a good school. I would say. So I would say maybe we're underprivileged, and many at times I missed school because of maybe my parents could not afford paying fees, or maybe you just don't have school supplies, so you stay home. So there was a time in my life, that was one of the biggest moments of my life, when I was about to attend and go to grade 3. But I happened to be with my aunt at the time, and my mom was not home. And I missed the year of school because I was with my aunt. She couldn't take me to school. And I had that urge. I wanted to go back to school. So the time when my mom came back, she was in Botswana. And when she came back to Zambia, she enrolled me in a new school. So I had that excitement to go to a new school, and everything was done, but payment of fees was not done. I had the uniform, I had everything, but the final process was not completed. And on the day when I was supposed to go with my dad, I think he had an appointment, and he made me, go and bath and just get ready. I'll come and pick you up when you're done. And I was done, dressed up in uniform and all that. And I didn't find him in the house. I didn't find him in the house. So I think he rushed to an appointment. And he knew that Mercy, when she's excited about something, you cannot tell her to hold it. So I think he didn't want to disappoint me. So he just,
I imagine there were many tears on that day.
I cried. I cried a lot. So I told myself I'm going to take myself to school. And so I went to the roadside and I stood there. I was wailing and crying. And my older sister, you know how older sisters are. They're going to tease you. Like, what do you think's going to happen? You can't take yourself to school. I was like, you see, I'm going to go. So my 2 friends from the community came in. I knew where they were going to school. So I knew we were going to be in the same school, probably the same class. So they came over and they're like, Mercy, why are you in uniform? When did you start school? So I was like, the day that you were absent, I started school. So the way I was answering the questions was so, for them, they couldn't believe it, but they didn't have a choice. So they were like, you know what, let's just walk to school. We walked to school. It was a bit of a distance. And when we got there, we were a bit late. So the class teacher just hit us on our heads. Why are you late? I entered the class and I got in, and it turns out the class teacher was also absent a few days before.
So she didn't know whether you've enrolled or not, and whether you're part of this class or not.
Yeah, so she was like, we have some new students, and she called us by name. And she asked me, when did you start school? I told her the same thing. And 2 days ago. And she was like, okay, I can tell that I don't remember your face. And then the principal of the school came in. At the time, there were no computers at all. So he came in with a big book and said some students enrolled in the school and their names are not in the book.
And your heart must have been pounding.
Yes, and they're going to ask me why is your name not in the book? But they knew that there's so many of us from the community whose names were not written. So that's how I got written in the school records. We wrote a test that day and I passed. And I went home excited that I started school.
Wow.
My fees were not paid that year. I don't remember getting any struggles of being at school. So when I got back home, my father actually came back home a few minutes after I left. And he was really upset with my sister. Like, how do you let her go? So
you created credit for us right there.
Yes. So I just rocked up from nowhere, and excited with my test paper that I passed, and he couldn't believe it. So from that moment, my mom, when she heard the story, she started encouraging me on having faith in God. Yes, it was unfortunate for that moment, but the courage that I had to step into a place I didn't belong in at that moment, and the patience I didn't have, it shaped who I am now. Because now I can take up any challenge now. You can't tell me no just easily. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my other passion,
Education.
Besides school, yes. Besides singing.
That's an exciting journey.
Yeah.
You just bulldoze yourself into that space.
Yes.
And it will tell by the way you've gone this far with your education. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So don't go away. We're going to talk about her journey. She self-enrolled herself, created debt for the family. And I'm sure they must have said, ouch.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
So this is in Zambia.
Yes.
Which part of Zambia was this?
It was in Kabwe.
Kabwe.
Yeah.
The big metropolitan area.
Yes.
Wow. And so you are in school, and God begins that journey of faith, and mom is encouraging you in that journey. What are some of the additional beliefs and principles they instilled in you at that young age?
I would say being true to yourself and never denying yourself of an opportunity, respect, because the way you carry yourself also determines how people look at you as a person.
Yeah.
So as a young person, when you walk into the room, before you even, and this is something I'm still learning now, it's a realization of the time whereby your actions teach people about who you truly are. And at the same time, not fearing the fact that you want to take up challenges as a young person, just being true to yourself, authenticity as well.
Wow.
And lies never took anyone anywhere. So be honest. That's one thing my mom
Were these
always...
seriously punished in your home if you lied?
Yeah, they were. I wouldn't say there was a specific punishment.
Yeah.
But when you're in a family that has instilled, maybe like the foundation is the Bible. It's you and God. My mom would teach me, do not lie to me. It's not a good thing. But at the same time, the most important is that God does not stand with liars.
Yeah.
So even if I want to lie about something, I'll think about the fact that God is not going to be happy with me. So those are the principles that really carried me through at a young age till now.
So mom is playing a very pivotal role. She's in the mission work at that early age. Who else is having a serious impact on your life at that young age? Who are you looking up to, and who is impacting your life?
I would say I was quite active in the church as well. And then there was a young lady. I don't remember her name. But I used to watch Hope Channel and TBN shows. It was gospel related. And there was this young lady who used to sing there. She was an occasional visitor on the show. Okay. And I would sit and watch her and look at how she speaks and how she sings and how she answers questions, and I would imagine myself looking at her like, one day I want to be like her. Wow. Even though at the time I didn't consider myself as one who could be in that position, because we thought it's for rich people and we're not privileged to be there. But something in me told me I want to be like her. So I chased after that. Wow. I still have that picture in my mind that I wanted to be that girl on TV.
The TV influenced you as well.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Let's go back to your education career. And you're currently not working.
Yes, I'm not.
So you're still in education. This thing has lingered very long with you.
It has. And I still want to continue.
What are you currently studying?
I've been doing my master's in biotechnology.
Wow.
Yes.
That's complicated.
Not so much.
So you got the brains for it. Biotechnology is not cheap.
It's not easy, yes.
What exactly does it involve for a lady to do biotechnology? So there's biology involved, but there's technology that works with biology. So what exactly is that about?
So basically we combine, like you just said, combine technology and biology to solve an existing problem. Yeah. So when I did my master's, I did research in water treatment. So when you look at specifically rural areas, they don't usually have the methods to treat water purely. So their water is, it has different pollutants in there. Wow. And I was specifically focusing on heavy metals that are like trace elements that you cannot really filter out as easily. And if you talk about treatments, it's expensive and most places cannot afford them.
Rural areas just go by the river.
Yes.
They dig a little bit of that to remove the sand, let the water settle, and they scoop that. Most villages do that.
That happens.
Some who are more organized, they'll dig open wells.
Yes. And
they just, have a bucket to get the water out, and no one ever treats that water. No one ever boils it.
So now I had to do some research in heavy metals and how toxic they are and how I can use biological samples. We're talking about genetically modified bacteria to pick up heavy metals from environments, from water systems. So I enjoyed my research because it brings about a solution to an existing problem.
A very big one in Africa,
yes,
actually.
A big one. So now if, let's say I had to create something, this as I became successful in that, I know that many people would be reached and it would create a huge impact in rural areas, even back home or here in South Africa. So that's why I loved pursuing further.
Mercy, that's very complicated for a young girl sitting in the village and maybe watching this, and she's wondering, how did she even get there? So talk to us about your journey. In primary education, self-enrolled, you went through.
Yes.
Secondary, what did you study?
I did sciences. Yeah, I did biology, physics, maths. I was not very good at maths.
Okay.
No,
I
did
it.
I did it. I was not very good at maths. I used to create my own methods. I wish I could have the right to make my own equations.
And to find the solution.
Yes. But from high school, when I passed Matric, which is grade 12, I didn't have the opportunity to go to university because my parents couldn't afford it. So I stayed home for 2 years and worked different jobs. I worked at an internet cafe. I worked at a municipality. I did different short jobs, basically, to raise some funds. But at the end of the 2 years, I didn't have any savings.
Wow.
Because that money was also going somewhere else. You cannot have needs now and then say I'm saving for next year. So by that time, it was like, you know what? I don't know what God has in store for me, but I'm going to take up another leap of faith and go to UJ, University of Johannesburg. So I had applied to various universities and I got declined, but University of Johannesburg is the only one that accepted me.
Wow.
So, and that time my brother was supposed to do his 3rd year. I think it was in his 3rd year. So he said to me, there is an opportunity for someone to get funding, but it's very rare. And it's something that's new and they're growing it, but just come and try. Okay. So that's how I left Northwest to Johannesburg with my mom. And then I came to Johannesburg and then we came for orientation. So during orientation, they're telling you what you're going to do as a first year, what modules you're going to do. At that time, I don't have any hope of registering in the university. So to cut the long story short on that part, we had to wait for more than a month, I think, to get feedback on funding. Okay. And I remember my mom told me, just come back home. It's hard because I had to go to the offices every day to check. Wow. And now my mom thought, what if one of us makes it? What if they pick me and not my brother? So she was trying to get me ready to say, if you get the funding, give it up for your brother.
Oh, because
so that he can complete. Yes. Yeah. But then there's this thought I had. Why would God bring me? I asked my mom, why would God bring me from Northwest to Johannesburg? Look at how beautiful the university is, and just for me to go back
and leave this beautiful place.
Yeah, so my mom, I remember she cried on the phone. She was begging me to come home because she felt like the heartbreak is gonna be very huge for me. Yeah. But I said I'm not coming. And then a few days later, I registered at the university. Days after registration has already closed. And you know, when history repeats itself, I was already attending classes without being registered. And I wrote my first test without being registered. So
this is at a university.
Yes.
The same thing that happened on your
when I was
first
young. Yeah. So it was a huge moment. So when the funding came through, they funded my fees and accommodation. So now I had my own room and I could start my education.
Finally, your name was written again in the book.
Yes. All I had on me was an acceptance letter and that I'm going to register. That's all. Wow. And so when I finally registered, now it's like my foot is in now. Both my feet are in. Let me now do what I can do.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that funding was easy. It was every year. You try that, you do that every single year. It's not a guarantee next year you're going to get it, just like that. So every year it came with its own challenges that I had to overcome. But I had to remember that I want to finish, I want to complete.
I'm wondering what prayers you were making at that time to God.
I also, oh man, it's a lot. Sometimes you just talk to God about your desires, like, God, pull me through just like you did last year. And He does. But it takes a lot of perseverance, which young people most of the times don't have.
Yeah.
Very few of us have it. And it takes courage also to knock on doors and ask for help and find it. Because then we have so much fears of, what if I knock there and they say no?
Yeah.
Then what? So you already cancel yourself out before you even try. So yeah, you need a lot of courage. I needed that courage, and I thank God He gave it to me during that time.
I can almost see you writing a book on the journeys of mercy.
Yes. I want to actually.
Yes, the journeys of mercy, how God. So which degree are you enrolled to study at your undergrad level?
I did biotechnology.
Biotechnology.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How
I
did
just
you
went
find
through it. I discovered biotechnology when I was in grade 12. And since I was in grade 6, I always knew I want to be a scientist, but on the biology side. And not a medical doctor, because I felt like I cannot handle.
I was going to ask, because the sciences you did,
yes,
it looks like you were going to go into the science, and most people want to do medicine.
That's typically what everyone thinks. But I was interested in forensic science. Forensic science or genetics.
That's even complex.
Yes.
For a girl from Kabwe.
Yeah, it was. So when I found out about biotechnology, it encompassed everything. It has that part of forensics, it has genetics, it has environmental studies as well. So because of how broad it is, I stuck with it.
I want to still know a little bit more, and I'm sure our viewers might be interested to know, how did faith contribute in that journey? Because not only did you do the undergraduate degree, you decided to even go for masters.
Yes.
What is inspiring all that daring?
Of course, it started at a young age, but there's a belief that I've always had that there's a hand of God on my life. And there's nothing that has happened in my life that God did not ordain, I should say. I'm not sure if that's the right word. So once I believed that, I knew there's no step I can take on my own. I have to consult with God at all times. And I've always understood that if you have to make a decision, you have to go through God first. And I want someone to picture this, that when you are feeling sad right now, you're feeling sad, you're despondent, you're feeling helpless, and you don't have any options, or you're feeling weak, you know. When you kneel down and pray, you're not going to feel the same way.
When you get up.
Yes. If you pay so much attention with your mindset and how it changes, if you have that in every decision you make and everything you do, that's faith already. Because the devil wants you to be on the ground. He wants you to feel these emotions but not have a way out.
Wow.
Yeah. So now when you are always on your knees and you have basically given your life to God and you've seen Him before, you would definitely see the difference. And for me, it's like, what more can God do for me?
Wow.
From here, what next?
Wow, you're always looking ahead.
Yes.
And I like the way you say in your life as God, you chose God to be the it factor. Okay, that's the it. That's it's God. Yes. And it's very clear from how you're speaking. And even from you walking to school with your friends, it was like, God, I'm going to do this thing and I'm not going to stop at anything. But what's more beautiful about what you've just said is that for you, faith is expressed in prayer. Prayer is the most eloquent statement of faith, to say you trust in God that He will see you through. And so, but at the point of you choosing the direction of study at university level, how did your faith help you there? Or was it just a matter of my mother told me to choose this one?
When I mentioned genetics,
Yeah.
I've always been curious about. Okay, I need to speak about this one.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I watched a lot of paternity court, and I wanted to understand why fathers reject their children sometimes.
Only to discover they are their children.
Yes, that your child does not necessarily have to look like you to be yours.
Oh, but mercy,
So-
that's a can of worms right there for many people.
It's not in the physique, okay?
Okay.
It's genetics. So that it made me so curious.
All right.
I wanted to solve that part so much that I looked forward to studying genetics in my modules, like as a module. And now I've basically understood that. Now I'm on to other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing what TV has done in your life as well.
Yes. It's a huge influence, positive influence.
Yes, you've turned it for the positive.
Yes.
And so obviously then you are in the science field, you pass your matric with sciences, and therefore you're definitely looking for something in the science space.
Yes.
But you decide to go for biology and technology. I think you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Because we're living in a time now where technology is actually having a big influence.
Yes.
It doesn't matter which sector, even in medicine right now, in industrial engineering, you name the science, the field, there's technology, big time, because they say we are in the fourth industrial revolution and science and technology are taking a big role. But let's come back a little bit to your family. I'm quite curious to know how. I know you mentioned this at the beginning, but maybe to explore it a little bit more. You say you're a family of singers.
Yes.
But you have sung the loudest.
You could say that.
I'm teasing you on that because I first discovered you singing.
Yes.
Right, that's the first time I saw you. Was it at Brixton?
I'm not sure.
No, I think I saw a flyer of you at Brixton.
Okay.
You were singing somewhere in a program there. And I'm like, who's this lady who's singing here? And then tell me about, at your family level, how faith has impacted on your decisions up to today and perhaps how God has led you thus far.
I think getting support from my family has led me to be where I am as well. Because they are also strong believers in God. So where you feel like you're weak and you are, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have much hope in what you're about to do, you got that support system behind you saying, you can do it. So it always goes back to testing God. I don't know if that's the right term. Not tempting God, yes. Testing God and seeing what He can do for you. So with my family, they've been my biggest support.
I'm going to be a little bit curious here because I've not heard you talk about him, and I'm a father. And I'm actually beginning to ask myself, Mercy has been talking about her mother all along. Let's talk about your dad.
Yes.
How has he influenced your faith?
Well, okay, that's a hard question. My father's journey, rather, because he served as a pastor, actually, back home in Zambia.
So you're a PK. All right.
Yes. So he used to tell us a lot of stories about his ministry at the time. And I think I've taken a lot from his side.
I wish I had more time
that.
to listen.
When it comes to that.
Okay.
But I just feel like, because, when we came to South Africa, he left and went back home to Zambia. It's 2009.
Okay.
So I missed a lot of experience with him. Personal experiences, and my mom has always been there with us throughout, and hence I speak about my mom a lot more than my dad. Yeah.
You went back for ministry?
He did, yes, but he's not in the conference. Yeah, he's just independent now.
All right.
He's been for years. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so families always have dynamics. Siblings, their journeys take different roads as they grow up. Here you are at university, and your brother is now beginning to be competition for you. He's studying something else, you're onto something else. How have your siblings impacted your faith and journey with God?
Oh, that one is a critical question. So we were all born in the Adventist church.
Uh-huh.
And like you mentioned, when you grow up, you make different decisions as adults. And at this point of my life, my siblings are no longer Adventists. I'm the only Adventist. So we still inspire each other positively when it comes to God. But at the same time, I saw how it would have impacted my faith negatively, especially if I want to remain in the church. So yes, there is a positive and there's a negative part of it if you look at it. Because now I reached a point where I had to decide, when I face challenges whilst within the church, what decision will I be able to make? Am I going to run and leave and look for other truths or seek for other
places to be fellowshipping
yes, and find comfort?
Uh-huh.
Or I'm going to sit here and stick it through. And I don't blame them. I respect them for their decisions because they're still who they are today, and I still respect them. There's nothing bad about that. But it became a decision of my own now. Like, what if they've made that decision? How do I move forward now as an individual?
And here's a question I have for you.
Yes.
When they left, why did you remain?
I just wasn't searching for anything outside. I had that question. And most of the things that I would say influenced them leaving is how, in church, you don't find friendly people all the time. Besides doctrine, we can argue doctrine. Maybe they don't believe certain things anymore, Mrs. White's books anymore, things like that. But at the same time, you find rude people in the church. You find people who are opportunists. You find people who are going to exploit you. And I know when we were singers, we were exploited as musicians. We didn't know anything at the time, and that broke my siblings. I that's my belief that it shaped their decision, and so I had to ask myself the same question. I'm in ministry, and I haven't met the kindest people either. But what is the reason why I'm in this church? That's the biggest question I had to ask myself.
And what answer did you tell yourself?
I'm here to serve God. Just because I've met you and you're not kind to me doesn't mean the next person is the same. And at the same time, we have to be patient with one another. And also, the devil is in the church too. I feel like it's not as clean as we think it is. So I told myself, and I remember I used to pray that my journey is between you and me and you. This is me and God, and nothing in between. There's actually a song that says that, nothing in between my God and myself and my Savior. So whether it's disputes, whether it's pain, whether it's disappointments, whether it's doctrine, nothing's going to come and affect my relationship with God because I found him here. So there's no need for me to go and search out elsewhere. I didn't have that desire. Of course, I've visited my siblings' churches, but I just never found a home there for myself. Yeah.
What you're revealing there, Mercy, is very deep. And I think it's very personal to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I might want the crew to bring a bit of serviettes or tissues here so that we can, if we had to dig deeper there, there are painful stories to share. And there's nothing as painful as seeing your family go different directions. And
it's painful, yeah.
You're fellowshipping differently now.
Principles are not the same.
Yes.
The mindset is not the same.
Exactly. And therefore, how can two walk together unless they agree on certain things? And so it really makes family very difficult. But maybe let's because this is about learning and tracing the journey that God is taking you on. There's that song that we often sing, if mommy won't go, I'll journey along.
Yes.
Okay?
That's a childhood song.
Yes, we used to sing the chorus, if my sister won't go, I'll journey along. If my brother won't go, or the other one we say, I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. All right. So we've got these songs that express our deep faith. And I think this must have shaped your faith in a very unique way. What are some of those very unique ways you feel your faith was tested and is being tested at family level? And how is God helping you and strengthening you to keep holding?
At family level?
Yeah.
I think standing up for the truth, that's one. And also not looking down on anybody just because they've made a different choice. Yes, my siblings made a different choice and my parents are not here in the country anymore. But their teachings, the foundation remains the same. It didn't change. The upbringing, the principles they brought us up on remains the same. So I had to realize that I have to hold on to that with everything in me and not look at what has happened. Because it's a moment. It's a moment of time.
Yeah.
And things can change anytime as well. Maybe my siblings can come to church tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe they might not, but they might still be saved. You never know. And, oh no, let me not say they might.
That's the journey.
But that's the journey, yes.
Yeah, because we don't know the end result of all these choices that we make along the way.
Yes.
We can only be certain as we make the right choices.
That's true.
But people do change. And that's one of the things that we have to learn to live with. I mean, you're just reminding me right there, the very first couple, if you want to know how people can change very quickly, God asks Adam, where are you? I heard your voice and He's not even saying, we heard your voice.
Yes.
You see, he's only speaking for himself now. By the time God says, who told you are naked? He starts blaming the wife you gave me. And the wife learned it very quickly as well and said, oh, okay, Adam said that, so I can also say the snake. So people do change.
Yeah.
And that is rather unfortunate. But let's tie the experience, your childhood, growing up with your siblings, with your mom, with your dad, your faith growing up. I'm interested to know how God has actually grown your faith from that little seed. If you compare to where you are now,
yes,
how has God brought you thus far to this point? What are some of those experiences, or you could say moments, that have really been pivotal in getting you to where you are today?
Yes. Well, I'm remembering a story back when I was in Zambia. I was 11 years old. And during that time, I remember I was going to church alone. So when you talk about history repeating itself, this is another part of it.
Okay.
It was, my mom was in Botswana. My father was preaching somewhere else. And my siblings were no longer going to church. So, and it wasn't a decision day. It was just, you know what, I'm not going tomorrow and just like that. But I was not the type to. Even if I'm sick, don't tell me I'm not going to church.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna go even if I'm sick. I remember I had to stay home with my older sister, and my young brother was sick. We were both coughing, so my mom said, "Stay home." We got ready. We used to bath early in the morning. Even if you're not going to church, you just have to get ready. So I just changed his clothes and said, "We're gonna walk." We walked to church and we went there. The preacher is preaching and we're both coughing. We're just exchanging, you know. So they like, whose children are these? The preacher had to ask. So my mom couldn't beat me up and say, "I told you to stay home."
Oh, no.
And, you know, things like that. It's that.
So when the preacher was expecting amens, he was getting coughs.
Yes.
And they were coming in pairs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Lord.
So
it gave me that courage. Not just that, of course, many moments. And when I was 11 now, I went to church all by myself, and I faced a lot of bullying even at that age. First of all, bullying, and you're not from a privileged home, you don't dress properly. There was a time I didn't have nice clothes, so I've walked barefoot before. At home, yes. And I remember this other time I burnt my dress for church. I only had 3 dresses for church, so I burnt it whilst ironing. So I used to go to church holding the patch that was burnt.
All right.
And now when they ask me to sing, I have to go there with my burnt dress. And it was not easy because people would talk.
Moments.
I do. Those are actually, that was the pivotal moment when I chose to follow God despite the circumstance I'm in. And I was young at the time. The bullying, yes, you're being bullied. Yeah, it kind of reflects bad on your parents, and yet that's not. It's just the situation. Yeah, I just don't have a new dress because my parents couldn't buy it. But that's not a bad reflection on them. And so it was hard to deal with. But I went to church anyway. So this one Sabbath, I told myself, I am not singing. Even if they call twice, because they would ask who has a special item, and they knew that I was always willing.
Mercy is the singer.
So I said to myself, I'm not going to stand up. So I intentionally went to the back of the church and I sat there so that nobody sees me. So I sat there, and the MC at the time, he called twice. And I sat there, and my friend was like, you can go, just go. Third time, I said, I'm not going. And I just felt a heavy push. I could not explain, but I just found myself going in front. I walked in front and I sang, and I came back and I sat, and I told my friend and the lady behind me, actually, I asked her, why did you push me?
So you thought someone literally...
Yes, she did this and go. And it was like, I made a decision. I was so upset. But my mom taught me one thing. If you are about to serve, like in music, in music, basically, that's what we did the best. Say a prayer first. And you don't serve with an angry attitude and all of that. So I said a prayer in my heart and I sang. But I went back, and my mind's like, why did you push me? Because I made a decision, I'm not going to do this anymore. And the lady was like, I did not do that. And from that moment, nobody interpreted that for me, but I realized that, okay, this is what I'm meant to do the rest of my life.
Must be an angel that pushed you invisibly.
Yes, and that when I told my mom, that's exactly what she said. So ever since then, I stopped saying no to ministry, and I became a bit more willing in serving than anything. And when I came to South Africa, of course, I sang with my siblings, and we had beautiful moments. But I also knew deep down that I have been given a gift as an individual. So let's just say when my siblings are not there, what do I do with it? So I made a decision that even if they are there, if they are not there, I can still stand alone. When we are together, we are a powerhouse. It's beautiful. We serve and all that. But I should still be able to stand alone because I am one with the gift as well. And I will be held accountable to what I do with it. So if others fall off, what will you do? How will you stand? So I remember my first ever song that I sang as a soloist in Rustenburg was He'll Do It Again.
The famous one.
Yes. I watched, I forgot her name now.
Pastor Mfune?
No, the lady, she's in America.
Oh, she's an American one.
Yeah, she was a young
version
girl.
Pastor Sosten Mfune sings.
Okay.
That's the first one I heard of that song, so it stuck with me. Whoever sings them, I always say they're singing Pastor Mfune's song.
Oh, wow. It was a young girl.
Okay.
So I was inspired by her at the time. She's now an older woman. But at the time, I was inspired by that. And I started singing, started incorporating backtracks. And
was it not Del Decker?
No.
Not Del Decker. Okay.
I wish I could remember her name.
Yeah? All right. Not a problem.
Yes. Yeah. But she was my first inspiration at the time, and I started doing solos a lot more. Even when we were with my siblings, I started doing more solos.
So the choice to do solos is because your siblings are living, or is it just...
No, we were together. I just wanted to be able to do things on my own even if they're there. I was in my mindset of what if they are not there? What will I do? So I was somebody who was extremely nervous. I couldn't even introduce myself sometimes. My brother would say introduce the group, and I'd be pushing him. I'm like, no, I can't say it. I cannot speak. I didn't have that confidence to speak in front of people. And then eventually, and through his encouraging me, helped me to do those basic stuff. Just say your name. My name is Mercy, and start. And
Wow.
yes, there's a lot more to share, but
Yes, as you were speaking about your siblings, I would love to meet all of them.
yeah.
Maybe we should have this podcast now, part 2, with all of them sharing their journeys with God to where they are.
That would be
Because
amazing.
one of the things we cannot, and I know they made these decisions as they were growing older. They're young people. You mentioned the tough experiences you had with certain church people, and it really reflects badly on the church. But I think one of the reasons, obviously, is to go back and say, where did this thing fall apart? And if the church was to get it right with young people, because we're losing a lot of young people.
A lot, yeah.
How do we get that right? Because the church has to also repent.
Yes.
And when I'm saying church, I'm talking about those who make decisions of what gets done in the church. And we do know the church is a hospital for sinners, so there are some who are really not taking their medication properly.
Yeah.
Some have resistance to medication.
They
so
need a bit of an overdose.
Yeah, but I believe, sitting where I'm sitting, looking at what is happening in the church, we have a serious problem. It's not getting better. There are some churches today where young people have left those churches and they are fellowshipping differently in different spaces because the church is not nourishing their souls.
Yeah.
And you talk about music. Our young people no longer sing what we consider Christian music today. They sing some new age stuff which old people are finding difficult to accept.
Yes.
And so there's a clash right there.
Yeah.
And young people then no longer sing in church. They go and do music concerts in some venues that are not even church venues.
Yeah.
So the whole music ministry area where you are singing is really fraught with so many difficulties and so many changes that are happening.
Yeah.
Commercialization of the gift is coming in. Showbiz is now part of the story. There's a lot of branding. The groups are becoming the brand, but Jesus is no longer the.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things happening right there, which I'm sure 50 years from today, we might not have the music we think we have in the church because of those changes. But let's come back to your story. I'm interested in, now that you stood alone, your journey began to have highlights.
Yes.
There are highlights in that journey that you begin to see God leading you to places. Let's talk about those. And the most one I'm very excited about was when we met at St. Haven.
Yes.
There was a camp meeting there. You were attending, and we met, and you said, Elder, I think you're talking to one of the planners or someone you were praying with, and you were saying, no, I'm waiting for my visa.
Yes.
Talk to us about your highlights of your journey with music so far. And I'm interested in the biggest one, because
the biggest one, yes.
You just came back fresh from the US. So
yeah.
Talk to us about those journeys and the places God has taken you.
Wow. From the beginning?
Yeah, let's talk about the progression.
So I've always wanted to visit America. And I've always envisioned myself to be in there. But I never thought it would be through, to the general conference at the time. So somebody sent me a link and said, you need to apply. Maybe you might get in. So I got through the link and then I made my application. And at first it was tedious because you have to you have to also attach your music, and you start your application all over again for another song. So if you want to apply with five songs, you're going to do the application 5 times.
Wow.
So I remember doing it the 3rd time, and I was like, I'm tired. 4th time, and I said a prayer, of course, that maybe God will answer and I might be accepted. So eventually I got a letter. The application was in March and I got an acceptance in November. So the waiting period was also quite long.
You almost must have forgotten about it.
I actually told myself I didn't get it because this is worldwide. Everyone is applying. So what chances do I have? So I kind of forgot about it. So by the time it was end of November, I got the acceptance letter to sing at the general conference. I remember I was in the lab at school. I screamed with excitement. I was like, I'm going. But it didn't come with funding to go there.
Okay.
So I had to start my journey of fundraising. How do I get myself to go? And to be honest with you, when God is about to do something in your life, the devil is also fighting with everything also on the other side, because every other part of my life was going down like this.
Wow.
I was losing my job, I was losing my residence, I lost a lot of things in that process whilst trying to get to this place that doesn't come with funding. So it's like, where do you put effort now? I didn't necessarily lose my job, it just circumstance at the time,
Okay.
and funding and sponsorship in the university, because I worked at the university.
Okay.
And so I remember people didn't receive the trip very well. Some people were positive, but I received a lot of criticism in the beginning. Why are you taking up this opportunity? Because you can't afford it. And
who are you, by the way? You're not even the most known singer.
How did you get there?
Those naysayers. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
There are other people who maybe afford it and are better singers than you.
Maybe, yes.
The devil does that, isn't it?
Yeah. And I remember there were so many other positive people. But it took courage for me to publicize it. Because during that process, I had sent messages. I opened up a GoFundMe and I sent messages to people, which the responses were not that positive. So I went quiet for some time.
Oh, yeah.
And
Were
not talk about it. I was, but not to the point where I give it up. I just gave myself some time not to talk about it because I couldn't take it in that like negativity so much. And I tried to just pray about it and see how best I can take out the positive and move with it. So one of my elders from my home church, he came to school, he was registering his son, and he asked me, what are we doing? We're excited for you. And what are we going to do so that you can go? And from that moment, I was like, if I've given up, I'm almost giving up on my journey. And others are sitting wondering what ideas can we come up with to help her. It woke me up immediately. I was like, I cannot let them down. So let me start working on it.
All right.
And by the grace of God, the churches gave me an opportunity to fundraise through the conference, through the youth rallies and a few concerts I did. And also camp meeting. That's where now we met.
Yes.
And at the time, I was a week away from my visa interview. And we prayed. And that was a moment of realization that it took one moment where I felt like people were against it, but another moment where I felt like everyone was excited for me. And I got to see that. It changed everything. Sometimes we have these misconceptions just because somebody has given you one-sided truth.
Yeah.
You think everybody feels the same until God makes you open your eyes and be like, no, people are on your side. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And
there are 7,000 people, like God said.
yes,
to
on your side, 10,000 on your right. And the camp meeting was one of the moments that was exciting because people were happy for me.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was a leap of faith that I had taken because I got the acceptance in November. I started fundraising in February. And my visa interview was on the 5th of May. And the journey was in July.
Wow.
So there was a lot of testing, I feel like, that I went through. Because I've taken up this, and what if it goes the other way?
And something goes wrong.
Yes, and I've been fundraising this entire time. And now we are in May. And now I'm getting my visa. What if I don't get my visa? Then what do I tell people? How do I come out and say I'm no longer going? So at the same time, could I have kept quiet and waited for my visa and then be like, guys, I'm going? So it was a leap of faith that I had to take. Let me do it whilst I hope for the positive for the visa. And thank God through the prayers, and so many people were praying for me, honestly. So many people were praying for me. And God answered. I got my visa and I was able to attend. But and at the same time, the fundraising was not that significant for me to reach my goal.
So how did God come through?
Oh, in a very unexpected way, I had to get a flight ticket. Somebody bought me a flight ticket in Canada.
Wow.
And I was super excited. And we went to the airport to check in, and I couldn't board. Because if you buy, according to the policies, that if you buy a ticket in Canada, the flights in Canada have to pass through, and you need a transit visa. I didn't know that. So I get there, they're asking me for the visa. I don't have it. So I had to go back home. And the way I was so stressed, I was not reacting emotionally. My body was just reacting. I was just numb. I literally saw my flight leave. I changed the television. I stood in front of it, the screen, and it changed from boarding to departing. And I was not on that flight. And I remember I took off my shoes at the airport. I took off my shoes. I couldn't feel anything. It was winter and I was not feeling any cold. I just wanted to understand what's going on. And then I took that week. The following week, now I started fighting for that transit visa, which even today has not come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it never came out. And it was a trying moment. There was a lot of breaking down in that week. And then one moment changed everything. So as I was trying to liaise with Air Canada, trying to find out if they could change my flight, out of all the trial and error we did with them, they sent me an email now finalizing to say there's nothing they can do if I don't have the visa. And as I was reading that email, I'm trying to get my mind to accept this trip is no longer happening. Because when the general conference session started, I was home. I had already come back, and I was trying to apply for the visa. Was my phone on the side with this, the opening. They had this opening program, and I was like, I must be there. I'm
supposed to be sitting in this auditorium.
Yes, but I'm here. But that moment when I was reading that email, Ashley Seko called my phone, and I looked at the phone call and I ignored it. I told myself I'm not ready to tell people that I'm not going.
Yeah.
So I decided to ignore it because I'm trying to take the email in. Like, you know what? It's accepted. You've tried.
And this thing is already happening.
Yes. So forget about it. So, and then he called again. And so when that happened, I had to sit down and make a decision. Okay, I'm just gonna pick it up. So when I picked up that call, that's when they were asking questions. Why? They were looking for you. We want to know about your journey. And I told them what had happened. And then the youth from SDA Twitter decided to start donating money. It was on a Friday, and they started donating funds throughout Friday. By Sabbath afternoon, I got my flight ticket.
Direct.
Sabbath evening, I was out. And that's how God provided last minute. And I remember I used to tell my uncle that it's just one more miracle. I've done everything. I couldn't understand why God led me this far. I could see if I could trace back, I would be like, God was here. He answered this. He answered that. But now that I'm here, why is this one not working?
Yeah.
What is God trying to teach me? And also through my journey, there were a lot of disappointments, big times. I said thank you, and I was grateful for prayers that were actually not answered. I got a lot of false hopes where you go back home and be like, thank you, God, for answering my prayer. And then by morning, the answered prayer is not in existence. So it was like you're here and you're down. You're here, you're down. There's no middle ground. So when that happened, I realized that God was also trying to teach me to trust in Him more than people, trust in Him more than what people they make promises, but life happens too. You can make a promise now and tomorrow you're not able to fulfill it.
Yeah.
So you had to understand that. But is my hope supposed to be in man or in God?
Yeah.
And how deep my disappointment went told me how much I trusted God. So I cried about a lot of things as if my life is about to be over now, but forgetting in that moment that God is the one who has the final say.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I learned through my journey of trusting in him more than anybody else. Because when he come through last minute, nothing could change anymore.
Wow.
And so I went, and it was exciting. I didn't even know what to expect when I get there. Nobody is at the airport waiting to pick me up and say, hey, welcome to America. We have to have you. No, my name is just on the program. They're waiting for me to show up. So I had to figure out a lot of things. And I remember I was on the flight thinking, I'm going to sleep at this hotel, but I don't know where and like how I'll get there. And one of my aunts that I met, Auntie Ruth, she was accommodating me at the time. We were going to stay together. And one of the pastors from the Northern Conference, he was their siblings.
Okay.
So when I was on the flight, I was wondering, how am I going to move from one place to another? What if my phone doesn't work? What am I going to do? Who will I call? By the time I landed in Atlanta, I found a message saying, let us know when you're in St. Louis because we're going to pick you up. An answered prayer again.
Wow, now you know. So you're connecting to St. Louis now.
Yes, and I got to St. Louis. I loved and I enjoyed the session. It was, when nobody has given you hints and tips on what you should find. It was it was an adventure for me. Like, what, the exhibitions? I was thinking of small things, but it was huge venues.
Yeah.
People everywhere from different cultures, countries, and it was like you're a tourist
in this whole
yes, everybody's touring around.
Yeah.
So I got there and I just forgot everything. I got excited and I just wanted to meet people from different places. And the first 2 days were a bit difficult because everyone is just up and down.
Yeah.
Nobody cares who you are, your face, you're new, where you're coming from. So I challenged myself that I'm going to make friends. So I would go to the exhibitions and I'll talk to random people and I'll be like, hey, do you want to take a photo with me? And then I'll ask where they are from.
Yeah.
And it made the journey exciting.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, to meet other people. And if you don't place yourself in a position where you'll be like, let me make the first step, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to meet new people. I met new people from different countries. It was lovely. And I think I hold that experience with everything in my heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But finally you got to go to the stage.
Yes.
What was that like?
Wow. After everything, it was like, now I can breathe, And remember when I mentioned I took off my shoes at the airport? I think because when I now got to the GC, I got sick. I had a cold. And I think that, and also the weather changes. I'm from winter and it's summer.
Yes.
And the weather was kind of strange. My body couldn't take it. So
you're way out of your biological clock as well.
Yes.
You're like how many 6-7 hours, behind what you're used to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now when I got there, I was now fighting another thing, and I was a bit cautious of how will I perform. And the day before my performance, I met Jehovah Shalom and I was able to do a song with them. It was beautiful. But on the day that I sang, it was through prayer that I sang that song.
Really?
And the most beautiful thing that I experienced was they pray for every person who stages there.
Okay.
So,
at the backstage.
Backstage. So they prayed for me. And then I walked on stage and it was big. So it's like now a dream and reality is here and I cannot believe it.
It's huge.
It's me on that huge stage, and I saw people coming in and time management, they're really good at time, because the moment I stepped on, my song started. And the moment I finished it, I sat alone for like an hour just trying to take that in. I sat and just watched people pass around and greet them, and just thinking, God, I wished this moment. It has come, it has gone.
That was a highlight.
That was one of the big highlights. That, yes, the main stage was really beautiful. And Yeah.
Now let's reflect a little bit and perhaps get some advice. We're almost getting to the tail end of our talk.
Yes.
And congratulations. Let me
Thank
say
you.
this, for your daring faith. It has taken you to GC. And
Yes.
for people who don't know, every 5 years our church goes to meet and we decide on new leadership at a global stage. And this is like a bringing in of the whole world to a particular town. And I know you did bring the whole town to a standstill. There was reports actually in CNN and other places how your coming in changed the economy of St. Louis, and you put everything on standby.
And the president became my friend, my father.
Yes, you met.
Funny.
I saw some of your tweets actually as you were there, the pictures you were taking and the people we were meeting. Because I knew after the GC we should have this podcast.
Yeah.
But you overstayed in America. You decided to enjoy the time.
You know what? I'm going to explore. And I found myself in Arizona.
Wow.
The state. Yeah, I found myself in Arizona, and that's another highlight. Because during that time, I met the Milashenkos.
The famous singers.
Yes.
From Voice of Prophecy.
And it was unbelievable because when I got there, my friend told me that this church, Milashenkos attend here. So I was looking forward to meeting them all the time. Right. And I remember I put on my best dress one Sabbath and I was like, I'm going to take a picture with them. And they didn't come. They were on a mission somewhere and they didn't come that Sabbath. They came the following Sabbath.
Okay.
And during that time, the church pastor said, Pastor Bill, the church decided they're going to do a concert with me. And Jody Milashenko is going to plan it. So I was honored to have a concert at Clearview SDA Church with Jody Milashenko planning my concert. I was like, wow. So when he called me and he was like, Mercy, I'd like to meet you. I heard about you and you'll be doing your concert. So I screamed on the phone. I was like, what? I'm talking to you. So that was one of the biggest. And we did a duet together. I was part of the choir, the church choir. They're wonderful people. The church has really been supportive. And I hope my desire is to go back and meet them again and do more music. And one more thing I would like to say, to acknowledge, is God answered one more prayer. I have a lot of answered prayers.
Awesome. So
I used to struggle I had insecurity with my teeth. Yes. Big time. It worked on my confidence quite a lot. Yes. And what I learned about people that side is that they give from what they have. Yeah. That's one of my experiences. So Jody called me and said, would you like to get some dental care? Just politely asking. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah. And I thought, I'm just going to clean my teeth, something simple. And so I started going through different appointments. Wow. And that insecurity of my teeth is gone because I had a gap at the bottom and at the top that I didn't really like that much.
So the smile is looking even awesome. And I was wondering, when did the smile come back?
So I'm truly grateful because of that sort of blessing. And I didn't think that it had a solution. I used to pray about it, that God, I know I'm beautiful, but I want to be confident in what I'm doing because I'm always standing in front of the people.
Yes.
I cannot be a musician with no teeth.
No confidence.
No confidence. And this is for somebody who's struggling, with the same issue with their teeth or anything about your life.
It could be even your eyes.
It could be your eyes, yes. And
most Africans don't like their hair at all.
No.
Even our texture, sometimes we want to bleach ourselves to look different.
Exactly. It could be anything, but God has a plan. God has a plan.
Awesome.
And one thing I want to remind somebody is that He wants you to be confident in who He created you to be.
Absolutely.
There's a solution. There might not be a solution. But I want you to be as confident as you can be as a young person, as an older person, because God created you to be that way.
Yes. Now, Mercy, you've shared a lot, and congratulations on that mission to the US.
Thank you.
There can never be a better stage in terms of the grandness, the greatness of the stage than singing at the General Conference, where the world is watching you.
Yeah.
and they get to hear your ministry. And you come back with the confirmation that if you could serve at that level, surely God can take you anywhere. The idea here is not to have an accolade like a Grammy Award,
Yeah.
but it's to distinguish yourself with excellence in sharing the gift God has given you. You know, and to have done that at this young age, surely it must earn you a husband.
I was not expecting that. Yes.
I just threw it in right
An
there.
honorable man. Thank you very much.
And a man who will nurture that talent and gift and ministry and not kill it.
Yeah.
And that's my prayer for you. I just had to throw it in right there. But let's also talk about, I'm almost tempted to stay on this GC thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely. And may God use that memory to inspire you to realize that one day you're going to sing before angels.
Yes.
When we get into the kingdom, I think there will be a special concert planned, not by Jody. I know you might be watching this one, but it will be by Jesus himself.
Yes.
And he will ask you to share your gift with your new voice and your new body. And it's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
And I might just ask Jesus to do a duet with you.
Oh, yes, please. We'll kill it.
But America came and it went. You came back and welcome back home.
Thank you.
And you have aspirations going forward, both in your career, in your personal life, in your ministry. What are some of the ideas you have for the future for Mercy? What can we expect from you as the Lord leads you?
I desire to write a book. I aspire to be a writer. I love writing. And my story and my journey with God can be an inspiration to another person.
Yes.
So I want to be that artist who has a story to tell and not just the voice. We tell our stories through the songs we share.
Yeah.
So I want that combination. So I would really, really love to see myself writing and expressing my gratitude to God more in my stories and my experiences. And then also, I am in two places. When I say I'm passionate about music, I'm passionate about education as well. In terms of trying to seeing another person strive as I did, or making their lives easier than I had it. So when I was young, I struggled with school supplies, of course. So it has led me to work on a project called Fill Up My School Bag Drive, where I would like to supply school stationery, school bags to children who are actually in need. I had this idea a few years ago, but I didn't have the resources for it. And being at the general conference actually made me realize that there's so many young people out there that are making a difference. So I cannot just be a musician who is just with the microphone all the time. I have to make a difference with what I have. So in future, that's something that I would like to do. And starting now, because you can help a child per child. You can help one child and start there, and you don't have to start big all the time. So that's my desire, and I'm working on that. It's actually a project ongoing for now. Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
So why don't you register a not-for-profit agency so people can actually donate to that cause?
Yes.
Perhaps that will be a bigger way to grow it and make it a fund.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
With all your GC connections and all your people up there globally in Zambia, South Africa, let's set that up as a fund. I think it's a noble idea. And that's worth praying for.
Yes.
That book, I think you already have started writing it on this podcast. The script is available.
I actually started writing on the flight. When I left, I started writing my experiences so I don't forget them.
Yeah.
And yes, but somebody advised me that the best book ever written is from the heart.
Yes.
So
True.
I hope for that moment when I just write from beginning to finish to the end of the book, but it's already in process.
God bless you as you plan that. Don't waste more time on it. It takes years to bring out books.
Yes.
You're talking from experience here. So let's talk about your final thoughts. one of the thought I wanted to tap from you is, in your journey with God, what has been the most consistent message or verse? Let me say verse that He keeps giving you. What's your anchor verse? If we say message of Shibalabala, what comes to mind as a verse?
That's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, and to give you an expected end. And I usually marry that with Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? So where you go, God is there as well. That's what the verse ends by saying that.
Yeah.
So whenever you think of me, I share my experiences. It's because I have believed that God's plan for me is perfect. Even though I have met so many challenges in my life, and even as I sit here, there are so many other things that I'm facing. But there's that assurance I have that God's plan for me is perfect. I may feel pain now, I may feel hurt now, but that's not His plan for me. His plan is not to harm me at all.
Awesome.
So I go by that verse.
Awesome. If I was to give you an opportunity to talk to young people, and I'm sure you can look into that camera in front of you and talk to these young people, young sisters of yours, what are some of the life lessons you could share, those that come to mind that God has taught you in your journey?
I would say trust in God, believe in Him. Just because He exists, He is there. He created the world, which means He can foresee your future and how bright it is. So your current circumstances doesn't determine how your future will be tomorrow. And you might have struggles with faith as well as a young person. Speak to God. Tell God what your doubts are. We ought to be as honest as we can be with Him because He knows everything. And that's what I do with Him. I tell Him everything in my heart and I see what He's going to do for me. Sometimes you may not get that answered prayer, but I want you to get that assurance that He has seen it, He knows it, and your future is bright. Yeah, even though you don't get that answered prayer. So I want to encourage you to completely trust in God, be yourself, and believe in yourself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that message.
Thank you.
Now comes the fun part.
Okay.
Where I get to ask you some of those impromptu questions that were not part of our script.
Okay.
Okay. So, what side of Mercy do people never get to see?
I'm a joker.
A joker?
Yeah, I crack jokes. I come off as somebody who is quite shy and all that, but I'm actually jovial and I like to laugh a lot.
Okay.
Yes, but it depends who you are. Then I'll be able to open up and just be myself.
Now, I'm going to ask you this one as well. It's related to the joke, so it merges nicely into what you've just said. What is the funniest thing God has ever done in your life? And you've laughed your lungs out to say, this God.
Funniest.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not the shoes at the airport.
No.
That was not fun. It's not the tears. Definitely not.
Not really, no. Oh, I can't. I have to think about that. I've had those moments, but I can't
Put one
remember
right now. Okay. I'm hoping you will think about it. Because God has a real sense of humor.
Yes.
Sometimes you look for something that He has already secured for you and you're like, why did I even stress myself and spend money when God has it? I'm hoping you will think about it.
I do remember.
Great.
I do remember something.
Yeah.
I was at UJ, University of Johannesburg, and we have this, like when you're a Sabbath keeper and you have exams, there are some exams that fall on the Sabbath.
True.
And you have to choose not to, if your faith is that strong. And we have something called deferred exams for those who keep the Sabbath. And so I applied to write a deferred exam. And what happens with the deferred exam is you are given a venue. If my exam was at 8 in the morning, I'm going to have to be there at 7:30. Or if it's at 10, I just have to be there at 9:30. Yes. So now we all Sabbath keepers, we go in one venue and you stay there the entire day. You have to go to the restrooms by escort. You're not allowed to touch your phone and all of that. But one thing I know for sure that we were allowed to use to have our services. So one time it happened that my name was not on the list of deferred exams. And one of the securities told me, you have time to go and write your exam. You came early, so you can just take the bus and go to your usual exam venue and write. Okay. So I stood there and I was like, it's a test, so I'm tempted, because if I don't write my exam, I'm going to fail, basically. Yeah. And it happened that we were 4 of us. So one guy bailed out. He just ran. He's like, I cannot risk it. I'm going to write. So he went. So it was 3 of us girls. Yeah. So we stayed and we just said, you know what? If I was telling my friends that if it means God will send an angel and make my exam paper fly to the venue where I am, I will sit here and wait. So we sat there and we waited the whole day. We worshipped. But anxiety. One moment you think, what if my paper doesn't come? What if my paper doesn't come? And so it was in the evening, now 6 p.m. after sunset. Now we're about to start writing our exam. You have to remember what you studied yesterday to write tonight. So you're trusting in God to remember everything you studied. Yeah. And now I have another anxiety with my paper I won't be called and I have to go back home. So that funny part was like, God is going to make papers fly. I happened to be the last person to be called because of my surname. And so I didn't have anyone to encourage me that time. Like, it's going to come. They're going to call your name. And I just stood there with others. Amongst me and my friends, I was the last person. So the examiner eventually called my name. It was not one paper that came. It was 5 scripts. What? And so the examiner was like, you're going to write all of them because we've not seen this before, where now one has to get more than, we have 1 enrollment for the exam, but you get 5. So you better write all of them.
Wow.
So everybody laughed in the room. It's like, you know what? You're going to sleep in the venue. You will sit. Even if you have to duplicate, it's the same paper, but 5 times. You have to. God came through, but in a very funny way.
Funny, very strange way. Yes. Very strange way. Now, what is one risk that you have taken in your life that changed everything?
I think my journey with the GC. It was a risk that I took because it was going to reshape my faith differently. The outcome could have broken me. Yes. I already saw it, and I remember asking God in prayer that if it fails, I had a lot of fear for failing the trip. What if I fail? Who will I become, and how will I be able to stand? What message am I sending out? What message are people learning from me? I have failed, and that's all people are going to see. That was a risk for me. It's like you don't have the assurance you're going to go, but you're putting yourself in the public eye to say, I have the faith that I will. With your help, I will. And so many people came through, yes. But I feel like that was one of the biggest risks I took. It was going to change everything about me and my faith and my right standing with him, and maybe the faith of others as well. So that's how I see it.
When you are really happy and you want to have a nice meal, what plate is sitting in front of you?
Ooh, I love rice and chicken curry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I love
Indian
that.
spice?
I love herbal spices. More on the herbal side. Yes.
All right. Beautiful. That's fine. And what is the habit you are trying to quit right now that this one I have to just put it aside? Or which one? So you could look at both sides. Maybe there's one that you're trying to quit, or there's one you're trying to build and really get in the groove of. Which one is it?
I think I spend a lot of time on my phone, scrolling. And
browsing.
Yes, I just browse through, especially TikTok. You see a lot of videos, fun stuff, sad stuff, and the interesting stuff keeps you just scrolling. And before you know it, 2 hours has passed, and that's how we easily waste time as a person. It's not paying. You helping other people get money, but at the same time, I think right now I'm trying to get rid of that habit and get into the habit of reading. And it's not easy because I used to be a very good reader. I would finish books growing up.
Yeah.
And I think right now I'm getting back into that habit of just reading and being able to pay attention and learn something. Because of the ministry that I'm in, I have to be knowledgeable.
And knowledgeable, yes. Yes.
It's not in the voice and the singing, and that comes natural, but the things that you speak as well tells how much you read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Readers will be leaders, as they say.
Yeah.
And the brain is never saturated.
Yes.
It always
never.
gets to soak.
Yes.
And wisdom is in the written text. And so final thoughts. Is there anything we have not talked about that you say, Melissa, this one I have to share because it really defines my journey? Anything we haven't talked about?
I think we did speak about everything I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about where people can find you. I'm sure people are wondering, where do I find that lady? What's her name, by the way? Which social profiles? So if people want to get in touch with you, where do they find you? Which social handles do you have?
I am MelVee the Soloist. I go by that.
MelVee the Soloist.
Yes.
All right.
My surname is a tongue twister. People get it wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the fun facts is that in the States, they didn't get it wrong.
Really?
No, they hardly got my. They hardly got.
Accent helped them to pronounce it properly.
But Africans, I think, because there's a Shibalabala, there's a Shabalala, people mix it up. So when they look for me, they will type Shabalala and not find me. So I stuck with MelVee the Soloist.
So it's MelVee the Soloist.
Yes, on
Fantastic.
TikTok, on YouTube, and MelVee Bliss on Facebook.
All right. MelVee Bliss.
Yes, that's my second name.
All right.
I'm yet to change that. And also, I do have a website.
Okay.
It's MelVeeTheSoloist.com. So people can learn more about me and actually see some pictures of my journey on the website as well.
Yes.
And I'll be uploading more updates on how I do with the project I want to work on. I'm working on, rather. And also how far I'm going with my ministry, because I wish to continue and till my deathbed, I will be singing that song.
Awesome.
So that's where you get all the updates about how far I'm going and how I'm doing what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, MelVee, for coming through. I look forward to also record you one day doing your music.
Yes.
We can't be beaten by GC. I have to follow quickly.
Yes. Back to Africa now.
Yes, do it in the African continent. Thank you so much.
Thank
May
you
God bless you.
Yes.
You're so young, so many years ahead of you, and continue to serve the Lord with grace, with humility, with integrity, and I know with sacrifice too.
Yeah.
Because that's always the case in serving God in ministry. And I thank you for taking time to come to share your story.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that someone will be blessed out there and will be inspired, and that your journey will continue to rise from one level to the next until Jesus comes. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
And thank you so much, friends, for tuning in and taking time to listen to this one. It's been a special one. I don't think we even covered all of it. There's so much from this dynamite lady. And we pray that you may follow her, subscribe to her ministry, and support her whenever you can, and buy her music if you can. And with this, I just want to say thank you so much. Keep moving, keep journeying on. God bless you, and see you on the next episode.